Good morning to all. As you can guess, today we are going to continue on our topic, which was food. So let's start. In my previous video, we had talked about the sources of the food, from where we get the food, from the plants and of course from the animals. Today, in this video, we are going to learn the components of the food. Components of the food. So let me explain you. We eat a variety of food items. Yes? So do you know what is common in all of them? Yes? Yes, all of them contains at least one nutrients or two or more than that. What are nutrients? So the nutrients are the things which are needed by our body for functioning well, for maintaining and for growing. And of course for preventing the diseases also. So what are the nutrients? What are the examples of the nutrients? Basically the examples, let me write down. So the nutrients are the carbohydrate, fats, protein, then we have vitamins and minerals. Addition to it, there is also the fibers. Or it is also known as the rough weight or the dietary fibers, So now as you can see that there are the 6 nutrients there are 5 nutrients. The fiber is an undigested thing which also helps our body to get rid of the undigested things, the removal of the waste. Yes, it helps to remove the waste from our body. So there are 5 nutrients which makes up the food, or the food can also contains the fiber, which is just the undigested material, right? So now let me talk you about these nutrients. We will talk about these nutrients firstly in a light way, then we are going to dig deeper in it. Let's start. So firstly, what are the carbohydrates? Do you know that the food, the nutrients, I'm talking about the nutrients, so the nutrients are divided into 3 groups. Of course, you know that we are studying from the 2nd class. The bodybuilding food, the energy giving food and the protective food. Yes? The bodybuilding food, then energy giving food, and then at the last we have the protective food. And this energy giving food, as you can guess by the name, the nutrients which give us energy, the nutrients which gives us energy to do works, to do work. So that is called as energy giving food. Simple. So that is fat and carbohydrate. What about the is bodybuilding food. So this bodybuilding food is the food which maintains our body, and it helps into building our body or in the growth. So this is the proteins. Then we have protective food, which protect us from the different diseases. That includes the minerals, vitamins and the minerals. Simple. Let me recall this. Energy giving food includes the carbohydrate and the fat. The bodybuilding food includes the protein. Then the protective food includes the vitamins and the minerals. So let's talk about this lightly, and then we are going to dig deeper in these all one by one. Yes. So let's start. Firstly, carbohydrates and fat. So do you know that the carbohydrate, the fat and the protein are needed by our body in a larger amount as comparison to this vitamin and minerals. These vitamin and minerals are needed by us in a lighter amount as comparison to these three of them, which is the major component, major nutrients, right? So the major nutrients are the carbohydrate, fat and protein. I think this is clear to you. Now the carbohydrate is a form of energy. It gives us energy. And the sugar is going to be a good example for this carbohydrate. The starch is also. So the food containing starch or a sugar can be also said as that food contains the carbohydrate. The sugar and the starch is just a form of the carbohydrate. The carbohydrate plus this fat gives us energy to do work. And about the proteins, as the name, it is a bodybuilding food, and it helps for maintaining the body and for the growth of the body. Yes. So if there will be no protein, it can affect our growth, and also it can cause many diseases regarding that. Right? Talking about the vitamin and minerals. So as you know that vitamin and minerals are the nutrients which protect us from the different diseases, but also they help us to maintain our body a little. What I mean, like say example of a vitamin A. So vitamin A helps our maintenance of the eyes. Yes, and that's why a mother says that yes, drink this milk. This will help in the growth of your bones, right? So these are the all, and plus in our diet you have noticed that we eat some fibers, dietary fibers and the water. We drink water and eat the dietary fibers. Fibers are also required by our body. Why is that? That because if there will be no fiber, as you can guess, we can get constipated. Yeah, and it can cause a disease, which is not a disease. It is it can cause that constipation is a big problem. Yeah. So fibers is also important to our body, and this fiber is a undigested material which we had taught. But this is also important because it removes the waste from our body. The good example for that will be the apples and the bananas, right? So let's talk about the carbohydrate first. Let's talk about it in the details. So So let me rub this out. Carbohydrates. So do you know that this carbohydrate is made up of the oxygen, then carbon, and also the hydrogen. So the carbohydrate is made up of the oxygen, the carbon, and the hydrogen, right? Now, as you can see that we had learned that this carbohydrate is just a source of the energy and it is the major nutrient, yes? Now, what could be the examples of that? Examples of the carbohydrate. So, the examples of the carbohydrate could be the potato or it could be the bananas, right? But how could you find exactly that, hey, this food contains carbohydrate in it? How could you find that? So there is a way for finding that. As you know, I am telling you the way how to find the starch in the food. And if you find that that food contains a starch, that means this food contains the carbohydrate. So for that, for testing that this food contains a carbohydrate, what we could do, we have to take a iodine, we are testing for the starch, yes? A starch is a form of the carbohydrate. So how to do that test? Firstly, you need a iodine solution, then a dropper, right? And a food sample, right? What you have to do, by the help of the dropper, you have to take some drops of the iodine solution. You know what is iodine solution? Very simple. It is a type of a chemical, right? So when you will take the iodine solution and with the dropper and put that on the sample of the food, and if that sample of the food start turning into blue or black color, that tells you that this food contains the starch in it or carbohydrate in it. So I can't show you right now because you know that I have no iodine solution over here, but you can try it, yes, in the guidance of the parents also. So very simple how to test the carbohydrate. You have to just take some drops of the iodine solution, put it on the food sample, and then you have to just observe that if it is turning into the purple, the blue black color, now you can be sure that it has some starch in it or the carbohydrate in it. So I think this carbohydrate is clear to you. Let's move on to the other energy giving nutrient. Let's see. So that is the fats, of course, right? So as you know that the carbohydrate and fat both give us the energy. So the fat, let me write down that. So the fat is made up of these three things, as you can see: oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. But as comparison to the carbohydrate, the fat contains a lesser amount amount of this oxygen. Now, why is this fat useful to us? This fat is useful to us. It works like a storage for our body. What does that mean? In the fat, the energy gets stored. And also, the fat is important to you, right? And if you will eat excess of this fat, you can get a lifestyle disease, which is the obesity. You had seen that, right? So this fat is important to us because it stores the energy in our body. And more importantly, most of the vitamins are soluble in this fat. What do I mean? I mean that if you're like, what is the vitamins? A nutrient, a type of a nutrient, and I think you already know that how many vitamins are there. Let me write the name of those. So the vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Yes, not F, G, H, I, J. Right? So, as you know that in this fat, most of the vitamins are soluble in this. Let me give you that. So the A is soluble in the fat. Vitamin A is soluble. Not vitamin B. Vitamin D is soluble. E is soluble, and K is soluble. Right? These B and C, this B and C is soluble in the water. These two are the water soluble. But talking about this A, D, E and K, these are the fat soluble vitamins, and that's why fat is highly important to us, but in a lesser amount, of course. Not in a lesser, in an appropriate amount, right? So fat, let me recall that fat works like a storage for our body, in which we can our body stores some energies. And do you know that the energy stored in our body, the energy which is stored in our body is in the form of the glycogen. As you know that the glucose is a form of a carbohydrate, right? That's why like that the glucose is converted into the glycogen. Very simpler name, yeah? Glucose and glycogen. Right? So the glucose is converted into glycogen, which is this is done with by our liver, right? So as you know that this is converted into the glycogen, and then this glycogen is stored in our body as energy, which our body uses later. That means, like say that if you are not eating the carbohydrate in an appropriate amount that you need, so our body is going to use that stored energy from where it is stored in the form in the fats. And I want to tell you one more thing about this fat, that this fat is a nutrient that gives us the largest amount of energy. This fat gives the larger amount of energy as comparison to the carbohydrate, right? Why is that? Because the fat is a denser molecule of the energy, not of the energy, it is a denser one, and that's why it contains the more energy in a small space than that of the carbohydrate. Yes? Now that's why is the nutrient which gives the largest amount of the energy to us. Yes? Now I think this whole is clear to you. In my next video, we are going to talk about the protein, the vitamin and the minerals and so on. Right? So for now, thank you and have a cheerful day ahead. And if you want an improvement in me, so you can just comment it in the comment box. Thank you and have a cheerful day ahead. Thank you.